The companies winning with AI aren't the ones with the biggest budgets. They're the ones who are starting right now. If you've been waiting for someone to cut through the noise and show you exactly how AI could transform your work, your wait is over. Your competitors have already signed up. I'm Kenny, founder of Brim and the host of the AI Opportunity. Welcome back to the AI Opportunity. I am super excited. This week we are speaking to Dr. Linda Silbert. Linda, great to see you. I'll just give some context to the audience because I think we're lucky to have you today. So Dr. Linda has got an amazing background, over 30 years of experience in education, working in K-2 schools, writing about education, really shaping essentially the future of children. And I think it's going to be a really great episode today to really talk about that intersection of what is happening around education, AI, and the future of where those two things are coming together. Welcome, Linda. It'd be great if you could introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for asking me on.
No problem at all. We're excited to have you. So Linda, just for context, I guess the audience obviously has seen my intro, but I think you tell your history better than I do. And I've been super impressed every time we've met. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about, the focus you've had for the last 30 years.
Okay. And it's actually even more than 30 years. It's been a pretty long time. And I started out, you really want the beginning, in fourth grade, sitting in school and saying, I don't like the way the teacher's dealing with that student, and thinking at 9 years old, I would do it differently. So there it was. I started, and I taught third grade originally, and then got most of the masters in reading for dyslexic kids. And then I continued to go back to school, lost most credits. So anyone listening, make sure you get all your credits at the same time. I switched to counseling because I realized that whole family system, that's the most important thing in school. That family, mom, dad, and all those grandmas and grandpas, everyone jumping in to help. And so I continued, and my husband, we had started a tutoring and test prep company we're in the suburbs of New York City. And we started writing book after book after book, and we've actually sold over 1 million books. And starting with self-publishing at the very beginning, because I saw that when I would give something to a publisher, it took years and years. And I'm very goal-oriented, and I want to get it out. And anyway, but we've done just fine. And our latest book, and that's what you probably saw, is called Why Good Kids Get Bad Grades. What parents need to know and do. And it's the focus, the theme of the book is stop looking at those grades. Find out what caused it. Otherwise, you as parents are not doing your homework. Everybody goes, that's it, you're grounded. That's it, we're taking away the social media, taking away your phone, doing this, doing that. No one knows why they got the grade. The grade means nothing unless you know. Where did the teacher get the test questions from? Then they always say to the child, did you study? I made you study 2 hours a night. And you still failed? Or you got a 50 or 60, whatever? And the kid is standing and go, I don't know. They don't know how to study. And the parents don't realize that. And the parent will say, this is what I did. Well, maybe that doesn't work for your child. So the whole goal of this book is to find out why good kids get bad grades.
It's a really interesting premise because I guess in today's world, because the world's changing so fast, education and school is probably being reshaped by AI. I mean, a lot of children are using AI every single day. What are you seeing? What are you seeing in your day-to-day as an educational psychologist?
Okay, it's an interesting thing because the kids, everyone is so concerned the child's going to go to AI, write the entire paper, hand it in, they're done. Here I am, got my A. It's not going to work. It simply isn't. And those kids who are going to take that little road or want to cheat or want to get it done so they can do something else, whatever, they would have found another way. Okay. I remember my daughter, who was the perfect little student, and she's got a PhD in chemistry. And the boy in front of her in history class in high school used to cheat on every history test. And he used to keep his notes in the heater because they sat along the window. During one test, one of his papers fell off his desk. And the teacher, she said, what are you doing? Are you cheating? What's that paper? And he said, if I was going to cheat, I'd keep it in the heater. And she said, oh, just stop it. Just go back and stop disrupting everyone. And my daughter came home and said, she didn't catch him. So whether it's AI, it's anything, they're going to find a way.
Yeah.
And so I think the AI, I love it, absolutely love it. I tell kids that when you're done writing the paper, put it and find out why, because they're going to hand something in and they're going to get back with an A, a B, super, all in red. It's going to look great, or it's going to be, on computer, on whatever. And then they're not going to know sometimes exactly why.
Yeah.
Okay? Because teachers I taught, you have 30 kids in that class, let me tell you. It's a nightmare. Oh, I just tell parents, picture having 10 kids over for the birthday party. They're there for an hour and a half, 2 hours max.
Yes.
They all leave, you're going to go lie down. You are exhausted. Well, these poor teachers do this every single day. They're doing a birthday party every day, all day, and they have to teach them, okay? It's hard.
It's really interesting because just to unpack a few things that you said there, Dr. Linda. First is that actually there's only so much teachers can give to each student because of capacity. And actually AI is a potential opportunity for children to be able to kind of unravel a topic even more so than maybe the assignment they were given, which is really interesting. It sounds like it's a real positive. But then on the other side, there's also this other challenge, which is actually with the cheating example. I love the anecdote. It's a really interesting story. But it's almost like actually it can really, really affect some students in taking shortcuts that maybe make topics superficial for them and them never really understand. So it's kind of positive and negative at the
It's
same time.
positive and negative, and I think it begins with the child, with the values in that home, the parenting. It all comes together. It isn't just a kid saying, whoa, look at this. Years ago when the computer started, it was just, I had a little 8th grade student I was working with, because I was working one-to-one with everybody once we started our own company. And it's a wonderful way to learn about kids, because now you see really why did they get that B? Why did they fail? Why did they? Okay. And I have a million stories to go along with that. But you really learn what the child's doing. And he was an 8th grade boy, nice as can be, but that means he's now 13 years old. Brain has not developed. Computers had just started. He had to do a paper. I forget even what the topic was. Teacher said they found it online. He just downloaded that paper and she gave him a 0, and he was not allowed to take the trip to Washington, D.C. with the rest of the 8th grade class.
Wow, unfortunate.
I was
Terrible.
beyond, I can't even tell you, I was so angry. And when I talked to him, he was 13 years old. He said to me, I didn't know there was anything wrong because I had to do that topic. They had the whole answer. So why wouldn't I just give it to them? That's what he asked me.
Makes sense.
That's a 13-year-old brain.
Makes sense.
Don't parents are yelling and grounding. You'll be flipping hamburgers when you get older. You're not going to get into a good college. They don't think beyond that moment. And he said to me, I don't understand. He just truly didn't get it. He said, the answer was right there. And he said, it's so, now of course the school just went bananas. He learned what the word plagiarize means. The whole school learned because he was the example. I don't know how many other kids would have said he was wrong because the brain doesn't work that much. So the whole focus of this book is please stop looking at those grades and go listen to that child and try to figure out what exactly is going on. It could be emotional. It can be social. There's a bully in school that they can't concentrate in school. Parents are yelling, study. You didn't study. They don't know how to study. They don't have a clue. They think picking a piece of paper and going, yeah, got it. Most people don't. Adults don't know.
Yeah.
Adults don't know.
It's interesting because there's another theme that I think you've kind of inadvertently brought up, which is we're in a moment of real technology change.
Revolution.
Revolution,
It's a
let's call it
revolution.
what it is. It's a total revolution, changing everything. And I think adults are struggling with that themselves.
Yeah.
And like you say, parenting is going to be now such a big part of, it's always been a big part of raising children, but in this new world of AI, how do you see parenting changing, or becoming even more important? Because like you say, it's like children at 13 or 10 or 8, that they're at different stages of development. To assume that they have the tools to be able to deal with this revolution when adults don't even have the tool.
Yeah, no, the adults don't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know going into restaurants and you just see everyone at the table sitting with their phones, mom, dad, the children. So you know immediately those children are going to become obsessed with their phone, their best friend. Social media becomes their best friend. I was testing a child and he answered something, and it was a character in one of the things, a video on his phone. He was 7 years old. It became part of his life. He didn't know it was separate because children are moving from pre-operational development, which is all fantasy,
Okay.
into concrete, which is, I'm first, I'm second, you cheated. It becomes black and white. And they
Yeah.
don't go to formal operational till end of teen years, maybe in your 20s, when you suddenly say, oh, wait a minute. I see that side of I know, I see what your argument is. I
Yeah.
see. I can understand. Some adults just don't make it. They don't quite get to form operational. But you're dealing with these kids, and now you have this AI. They have to know you cannot just go to AI and write the paper.
Yep.
Literally,
Yep.
just tell them. My daughter is a chemistry professor. She has said it's one of the kids. She realized he was totally cheating. And so she said he was just sitting there and looking up every single answer. Okay, now he's in college. How do you deal with this? Brand new problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So she called her mom and dad to say, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. What do I do now? Okay, but she's been there pretty long. And so she went to the dean of the school. I mean, they will have to come up with rules. We're in a revolution. We're into this whole new world. But look what happened with calculators.
Yeah. Yeah.
Calculators. I remember a little girl sitting with me. She was 13. And she said, 5 times 5, do you have a calculator? And I said, I'm not giving it to you. 5 times 5? Okay. What's happening? And they truly don't know. They use their calculators for geometry, for algebra. They truly don't understand math. And they keep saying, our math grades are all going down. Yeah, because they don't get it. They don't understand it. They're not using it. And that's going to be a problem even with the writing.
Mm.
I have children that are, do you say they're dysgraphic? I don't know. One of my English teachers said to me the other day, she said, over the summer, I just want to give a writing course. They physically can't write. They cannot write, and they have to be able to think through and how to write a paper. And so they're so dependent on this. So we're first going to have to set up rules and set up courses. The kids who are going to get ahead will be the ones who are thinking, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It's the parenting, the schools. We have to first make the rules.
So the main lesson there feels for parents is that actually setting boundaries of where the children can use AI and where they shouldn't for their own
Yeah.
sake
Yeah.
is going to be
For
really
their own.
important.
Yes. Yes. The parenting is still part of it.
Yeah.
Now, the parents say to me, but I'm on it all day. I'm going to it constantly. And I said, I am too. I realize it's like the world is at your fingertips. You don't know something.
Yeah.
My
Exactly.
God. It's just like in a second you learn it. It's just so fabulous. But it's going to stop another part of the brain from developing because they're not going to, as I said, they can't write.
And actually, writing is thinking, right? They're one and the same thing, right? If you
Yeah,
can't
yeah, you have
communicate,
to think.
yeah, so they're really tied to one another, or clear thinking at least. To be able to
Yes.
communicate what you're thinking in words
Mhm.
is a level of clarity that we all struggle with, right? When it's
Yeah.
just in our brains. And
You
so it's,
know, you have to, and one more thing that I think people should know, they did a study in a college. It was in a college lecture hall, and they gave some of the students laptops to take notes. They gave others how to print and others how to write in cursive.
okay. Yep.
The students who wrote in cursive got higher grades and the information lasted longer.
It's interesting.
Is that amazing? And it's using more parts of the brain.
Yeah. Super interesting.
Isn't
It
that interesting?
is, but it makes intuitive sense somehow, right? Because, you know, even from my own experience of writing, you have to think less about the characters you're kind of putting together. It's almost second nature, and you think deeper about the concepts that you're trying to explain,
Yes.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's almost like an expression of your inner dialogue. Whereas
Yes.
typing doesn't have that same sense. It's not like you type, and at least for me, and so I can intuitively see how that's true. Yeah, writing is thinking. I
It's
genuinely believe
thinking.
that. Yeah, it's one and the same thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess that leads to a kind of a different question I have for you, Dr. Linda, which is that so these foundational building blocks of learning, reading, writing, how should parents think about fostering that in their children in this new revolutionary world? Because it's quite hard to turn around and say you can't use AI, right? Almost impossible
It's
because
impossible. Yeah.
access to the internet, and but at the same time, like you say, it is revolutionary, so there's so much available, and in an instant you can learn a fact. So is there a middle ground where we can reshape what it means to kind of learn to read, write, and that kind of cognitive development? Do you feel like there is a direction that we could be heading in? It's a very difficult question, Dr. Linda, but I thought we could speak to it. Well,
Really think that the parents, it's just like anything else. I'm smack in the middle of teaching kids to read right now and write. We still have our tutoring service. Most of it's online, which is very interesting.
yes.
We are okay. We don't even have a place anymore. The tutors work worldwide.
Okay.
They work, I mean, it is, so everything is so incredible at this point and how everything has changed. But I'm even teaching some kids how to write. Okay. And this is online. Like, how are we going to do this? This is a for that parents have sent them tutoring, every type of program. The biggest issue is many of these kids, the anxiety is so high.
Mm.
And once your anxiety is high, the dendrites connecting all the different neurons shrink. And I don't know, I'm not a neurologist, but you know that feeling that you go, oh my God, I'm so nervous, I can't think straight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't. And until you relax, will everything start going back together. So I'm with this one little boy now. He's now 12. My God, he wrote me something, most wonderful story, but it was illegible.
Interesting.
Okay, so now we have to say in school he can only use the computer, he can only do blah, blah, blah. But he has to learn to write.
Yeah.
Okay, many of these kids were caught up during COVID. They were in first grade, second grade, third grade, when you learn to write.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so now I'm working with him, with the parents, one-to-one, online, and I'm giving him a whole cursive book that I wrote, like over 200 products that I've put together for kids to help them engage. Even if you go to AI and you're not engaged, you're not going to learn anything. You have to try to get these kids engaged. And once they're engaged, remember, they're still kids. How do you keep them engaged? All of a sudden, the mind's going to go off. They're going to get up, walk around. They're going to do something to get away. The biggest, they don't want to sit there. They don't want to sit still. AI is not going to put stuff in their brain. So how do you engage them? And I have used so much games. I made an entire reading program based on these $12 decks of cards. I separated the English language into phonemes, following
Okay.
Orton Gillingham,
Okay.
and put it with games. I had one little boy who started me about 40 years ago. He stood at my door and said, "Me, I'm not coming in there if I have to read or write." And his mother, the poor thing, almost passed out because he was so dyslexic. And I said to him, "Would you play a game?" And he went, "Like what?" Okay, so I grabbed index cards, and that's what started me off on this whole journey of all these card games. And I made up memory just using, and then we played Go Fish with the same cards. And his mom came in and he picked up the cards and he read them to her. And she almost started to cry. And she said, "Peter, you learned to read." He goes, "We didn't do any reading. We just played games."
That's a really interesting story because I mean it goes to a theme you talked about earlier around like the psychology of learning, but also for children. And it seems that this child had a difficult experience because he lacked the confidence when it came to reading and writing. So
And the skills. Yep.
yeah, and the skills, and was somewhat fearful of it. And it brings a really interesting point up around actually, does AI undermine those children who've already got low confidence, or does it enable them? And,
That's a good study.
you know, I don't know the answer,
I
but
don't know. I'm not going to do if anyone's listening to do that study. What I'm thinking, I think it will enable some and it'll undermine some because it's not going to help them learn. And the children who are struggling with reading and with writing, they're not going to learn how to write. They're not going to learn how to read by
yeah,
going to AI. And
yeah,
the others, I mean, once that final comes in high school and you've been using AI this whole time to hand in your papers,
that's it.
I mean, is that going to help?
Yeah,
It is not gonna help. That's why I said we're still at the very, very beginning,
yeah.
and we're going to have to learn and then set up rules and so forth from there.
It's scary though, really, because we are at the beginning, but all the costs are in the future of our decisions today. So it's like we actually as parents have to be thinking really carefully about we should be allowing our kids to constantly use, chat GPT or whatever the tool may be, or should we be, like you say, a bit of a forcing function so they understand the principles? I mean, I would go with the latter because I think you want your children to, have every tool that they need to be successful in life. But, not every parent can be around all the time. So how do you as a parent foster an environment where when maybe you're not around all the time, they're still getting the benefits of AI and also those foundational skills? And how does that play into self-esteem? Because I know that's a big theme of your work is actually giving the children a good sense of themselves so they can make the right decisions. Are those things linked?
This is such a good question. It's complicated. I actually did my doctoral dissertation on the antecedents of self-esteem in children. Where does it come from? It is
Interesting.
because they're the best baseball player, they're the best artist. What is it? It's a perception of how the child perceives their significant others perceive them.
Interesting.
So it's that child who perceives mommy, daddy, they think I'm great.
Yeah.
But mommy and daddy who keep saying you're lazy, you forget everything. You don't do anything. You don't do. Look at the grades you're getting. Their perception is that mommy and daddy don't think I'm that great, and their self-esteem is going to be low.
Interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the same as adults. Picture going into a room where you think everyone in that room thinks you're God. They think, oh my God, he's here. I'm so happy he came to the party. He's so wonderful. You're going to
Yeah.
feel great. You
Yeah.
walk into a room and no one's talking to you. Your self-esteem is just going to plummet.
Yeah. Of
Okay,
course.
so the parents are critical, and just make AI as part of your life. And if every night when you're working all day and every single night you sit down before they go to sleep and you talk about your day and you say, so what did you do today? And then talk about your day so
Yeah.
that they start thinking about others, the life that they don't become totally egocentric because children are egocentric. But say to them, let me share what I did today, too. Let me tell you what happened and what I learned from it. And then say to them, well, you had to write a paper. So what did you learn about the paper? And the ones who took AI and they didn't process anything, they're going to go, I don't know. I don't remember what I wrote. I
Yeah.
don't know. And you go, so how did you do it? Don't put them down. Be their ally, not their adversary. Most parents, not most, I shouldn't say that, many parents are the child's adversary. They're there as the parole officer. Did you do your homework? Let me see it. Let me check it. Be their ally. They want that gold star more than you do. Even if they put that shell around themselves and go, oh, it doesn't matter to me. That teacher hates me. Do you know how many kids have come in and told me, teacher hates me?
Of course.
The teacher always hates them. And I always say, which is the best, I say to them, they told you that? They really hate you? They told you? And they go, no, I just know it. I just know. I go, so what did they do? Listen to them and answer what they're saying. So you're with them. You're their ally. Okay. So that's huge. That's, I think, in every chapter I put in here, because I talk about trust, the child who lies. There's so many kids lying, and they're going to lie with this AI. I didn't know. I didn't use AI. I didn't put. And the more you make up rules, you cannot use that. That's it. The more they're going to sneak, the more they're going to lie. Don't set up these issues that become these humongous issues. Now you have to first break through them. Just listen, and work with that child. And don't have a fantasy of another kid. As always, I keep saying to the parents, if you have a fantasy of some other child, this is your kid sitting next to you.
Yes.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful kids. And without fail, the kids will always sit there and say, I am good. Isn't that amazing? And they're all different ages. And I've been in here, my God, doing this a long time. And the parent will always say, I never told you you're not.
Yeah, of course. Like,
Yeah, but there's the perception.
yeah.
There's the perception.
I'm a parent myself, and this has been so educational for me too. And I think that point you make throughout your book around self-esteem and being able to enable your child as an ally, especially in this moment, like you say, it's a revolution. AI,
Yeah.
things are even more challenging than maybe even 10 years ago. And so I think you really offered us such amazing advice, Dr. Linda, and I'm so grateful to have you on the show. It's been so much fun. I hope you've enjoyed it too.
I loved it. Thank you. Great questions. Thank you. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you so much. That's the end of the AI opportunity. And Dr. Linda, you have been an amazing guest. I think so many people will listen to this, and especially those parents out there will recognize that you've offered some pretty spectacular wisdom. So thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.